It's time for you to experience the trip of a lifetime in the beautiful country known as the Dominican Republic. Just off the incredible beaches and coastline is another story waiting to be experienced. It's in the heart of children in the Crossover Cups villages as they play and learn. You'll get the privilege to serve these children and their families, perhaps painting one of their homes, visiting with them and praying, or maybe even sharing in a movie night in one of our wonderful villages. As soon as you arrive, you'll sense that God is up to something as you get to partner with Him to bring encouragement and hope to these precious people. Whether it's serving peanut butter sandwiches in the garbage dump ministry or working with children in La Union, Paradise, Zion, or Valador, the trip to the Dominican Republic will change your life forever.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for taking time and coming out and letting us share our experience. This was our first mission trip to the Dominican Republic, and how we decided to go was Mike Williams came out, and he's a comedian, and he's one of the founders of this mission, him and Jack Easton. And he gave a presentation, yeah, and he invited anybody that wanted to come and serve, and so I said, let's do it. And these ladies joined, and we had a fantastic experience. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Sue, and this is Kathy, and this is Martha. I'm so sorry. Martha. And this is Lola. So this is at the airport, and as you can see, we took a total of 8 large suitcases, which was filled of medical supplies, peanut butter, tuna fish, black shoes for the children, just a bunch of stuff, and we just praise God for that. That was a really a need that was met.
All 8 suitcases unpacked. We had sewing goods, food. That is Sylvia and Santiago, who had just moved to the Dominican Republic 3 weeks before we got there. So again, we're at one of the clubhouses or the community centers that CUPS set up, and unpacked everything. Everything we brought, school supplies. That's one Mike Williams' kids in the background. They were both there that week with us. And it ended up, we took a lot of medical supplies. It just kind of worked out that way. It was incredible, actually.
We had a case, or maybe 2 cases, of Bibles, Spanish Bibles. There they are, that we gave the people and the pastor. I just wanted to tell you how amazed I was at everything that was donated from all of you. It was simply amazing.
After we passed out the little Bibles, you're going to see a slide where this little boy was sitting on a stoop, and he was just reading that Bible, and that just blessed our hearts. You know, it was just really awesome to see.
Hey everybody, Mike Williams here. It's a bit of a rainy day here in the Dominican Republic. We are here in the garbage dump sharing the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and sharing that by sharing food. We're having a great time. It's a little moist, but it's really kind of air conditioned. It's a beautiful day because it's just so nice and cool. It's a great day. Today, just for the record, in the United States is Thanksgiving Day. We are here today on Thanksgiving saying our way to say to the Lord, thank you for the kindness you've brought us. And we're here bringing kindness to people around the world. We get to do that because of your kindness and support of Crossover Cups mission. Thank you so much. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your caring. Come down and join us on a team. Come join us on a trip. We would love to have you down here. I'd love to take you around. Jack Easton, love to take you around. Dennis, Solares, and all of our team. We'd love to take you around and show you how your partnership is doing significant work in the Dominican Republic. Got to get back to the hot dogs. God bless you. Bye-bye. And I don't even think they're turkey dogs, but don't tell them.
So if you can imagine this, the smell was so bad. and the flies. There were hundreds or thousands of flies. They were everywhere. And you look in the distance and you see these people just scavenging through the dumps. And what they do is there's resorts that dump their trash there, and it's mixed with human waste, it's mixed with everything you can think of. And so they just go through the dump and they just glean what they can. And if they find food, then they'll boil it to death, and they'll have something to eat. So we had a table, and our team was giving out the soup, and it was one of the most humbling experience I've ever had in my whole life. You hear about poor people and, you read about it, but when you're actually there and you're seeing the desperation in their eyes, it's something that I'll always remember. And I had a lady who came up to me, and she brought this, maybe a 2-quart old plastic container, and she looked at me, and she went like this. And I knew right away that she had 3 kids. That's what she was trying to tell me. So at one point, Kathy was next to me, and we're trying to be upbeat, and we're giving out the food, and Kathy's talking to me, and I'm like, I can't talk to you, because tears were just starting to form, it was so hard to hold back those tears. But I was really blessed to experience that. And so it was a very humbling experience, and it just makes me want to go back and serve, because I truly felt I was doing the Lord's work there.
The pictures also that you see of us, we were making peanut butter sandwiches. It was 5 loaves. He brought loaves of bread to the Vistaria. Then we made them that morning, and 5 huge loaves. So that was right. And as they were dishing up soup, and these people know that we're coming. They recognize the trucks as we're driving in, and whatever they're doing, They also have their own spots picked out, and they don't want people stealing what they found. So they come over, or we walk. I took sandwiches out to people and helped some lady with water and peanut butter sandwiches back to her stuff. It's just, it's humbling, absolutely. And it's really outside of my box. I've never done anything like that before, but these people are just so grateful. It's just incredible.
So one of the other experiences that we had was going to, I think there was 5 villages, right? 5 villages, and we'd go to a village and we would pray. We would ask people, if they had a need, and these people were so inviting and so warm. And if you can see in the slides, they basically live in shacks, or however they can have a house. In the earlier slide, if you can see the group of us, I think there was in that slide. So that's one of the poorest villages, and if you can go back. So that little boy that's holding the girl, and the other 2 kids, they were actually home alone, and their parents were probably out trying to find work or food. And if you notice their feet, they were muddy, no shoes, their clothes were ragged. It was very, very sad. So that's just some of the shacks that they have. And some of the places were a little bit better than others, and there's other missions that go out there. The Samaritans, I believe. Samaritan Foundation, and they build houses for them. Now, these houses that they build, they don't have windows, so they have another mission that goes out. And if you notice the slats on the windows, they actually have a mission team that goes out there, and they construct these slats, shutters, and they place them on the window because they don't have screens, nothing. And that's Martha. They do anything they can to make a living, and that was just crabs that they were trying to sell. So this is the bread. They have a bakery, and what they do, one of the missions is to teach the people, or the kids, the villages, how to make bread. And so and they have a chef there that donates his time, and there's people that donate the equipment, and so they teach them how to make bread, and that bread they sell in the stores, so they can somewhat learn a skill.
Okay, Mike had said, or I don't know if it was Mike, but they said that some of the people had actually gotten jobs in town at different bakeries because of the experience that they were learning there to help support their family. See the peanut butter, all that, Jif? The tuna, yeah, tuna. Yeah, that's the Larry in the bakery. It's the bakery. You can talk about Larry. Larry helped us a lot.
I just want to talk about Larry. Here is I think he turned 18. Oh, 21. All right. So one of the things that he said to us on one of our bus rides home, he is a child that was brought up in the village, and he gave his heart to Christ, and he became an interpreter and a driver, and he was really such a nice kid. So that's an example of raising a culture, of what this mission is trying to do. So they take these children and they try to, help them in that way. And so he's a product of this mission, because they had him when he was about, I think, 10 years old. So anyhow, he was saying he was turning 21, and he said, "Do you know what I'm going to do for my 21st birthday?" And we were like, "What?" And he said, "I'm going to buy 5 chickens, and I'm going to share it with my family and friends." Yeah. So, and that says it all, right? So what do we do for our birthday? Like out to dinner, and and here's this kid that's going to buy 5 chickens for his birthday, his 21st birthday, and share it with family and friends.
And then the sewing centers, the girls come in and they're taught how to sew. And we brought back some of their products. They make the bags, and they sell them for $20 US. And what was very impressive to me is $10 goes back to the girl that made it. $7 goes into a college fund for that girl. And $3 goes back to CUPS missions for upkeep of the sewing machines and more material. So again, they're wanting more sewing machines, of course, and we brought back, 10 bags? We sold them all. But it's a phenomenal thing that he's also partnered with other missionaries. They have a pregnancy center now that he's partnered with other missionaries down there, and this is the store that is open in Dominican Republic. This is everything that the CUPS mission sells. Again, a lot of the bags the girls have made. The pregnancy center is upstairs in the same building, and we got to tour that. And again, that's a different mission field, but Mike has partnered with them as well. this is the pregnancy center now that we're talking about it. They're teaching prenatal, giving vitamins out to the girls, teaching them, and then somebody asked a great question while we were there. They're going to start bringing in the men, the fathers, hopefully fathers, and telling them about raising children. So it's a up and running ministry down there also. We're in one of the villages. This is one of the community centers. It's a basketball court. They teach Bible studies there for the kids. They play basketball, and it's just a safe area for the kids of the village. Mike has a great relationship with all the pastors there, and the kids are just adorable. That's where we went for movie night, the first Tuesday night we got there. Mike said, just go in, find a couple of kids, sit down next to them, and they all just want to hold your hand, and they were cute.
This little girl, her name was Kimberly, and every time she seen me, she just came right up to me and held my hand and just loved on me, and it was just so sweet. These kids are so sweet. They're just thankful, and it was such a blessing. So it was really neat. And so what happened at that center is they would show movies, and they showed like a cartoon in Spanish. It showed about salvation, and then Mike would do a skit. Like Mike did a skit on one of these about Zacharias coming down out of the tree, and he's really animated, and he really engaged these children. It was awesome. And there is Lola with her little boy. Here you go.
This little boy was so precious. There again, we're at the center, and when we go in and we see these kids, and especially when they were watching a movie or something, if they couldn't see, they kept, and I would ask him, I go, well, come here, I'll hold you so you can see. And this little boy, he didn't want to be held, but he loved for you to hold these hands and to hug him. And he was so warm. And when I lost sight of him, I forgot what his name was, but it started with an M. It wasn't Marshall or anything, but I lost sight of him, and I go, like, where's Marshall? And he goes, and he came right to me, and he put his arm around my waist, and he just kept hanging on. He didn't want to let you go. They are so warm, and they just want to know that people care for them. And they are such a blessing, honestly. I just got so much out of this. And just ask me, will I go back? You betcha. Yeah. And I do want to see that little boy again. Yeah. It really gets your heart when you're with these children and you're taking off, and they're chasing you, and they're trying to hold on to your truck as it's leaving. They don't want you to leave. They just want you to stay with them. They're so precious. We got to this little house here, and there was absolutely nobody there. I don't know the age of that oldest one there that's holding the little boy in the red. But he was there with the other two, and he's there. It left me the impression that he's there a lot by himself with these children, while his parents are either out looking for food or trying to get money. We did go for our COVID test, and we all were negative. And I forgot who it was. Somebody told me, they said, get up there, and I go, yes. Oh, angel wings.
Martha's going to tell you about another experience that we had.
A couple of things. Mike Williams, you all know who he is by now. He's the real deal. This man has a love for these people. He told us to go down there and just bring them joy and love on them and tell them they're the raisins. So the other team brought a whole suitcase full of raisins, which apparently went over very big at the dump. And that is Larry, and he saved some from the dump, and the kids just weren't sure what they were at the beginning until Larry put one in his mouth and tried them, and then they couldn't get enough of them. So something that's so simple to us was made their day, seriously. One of the other things Mike Williams has set up and is very passionate, Friday night was a very difficult night, very outside my box, I'm sure theirs too. We went down into town and we prayed with all the prostitutes. And when I say all the prostitutes, I think every girl we met downtown was a prostitute. And again, Mike Williams is trying to change that with his sewing programs. His plan was he was to approach the girls, and he was very specific about this. He was going to approach the girls. They would think he was work. As he was approaching, he told all the girls in the team, not just us, but the other team, to engulf the girls, come around them, and then the men in the group were guarding the perimeter, for lack of a better word, so we were safe. There were definitely people watching us, meaning the pimps. You could tell that everybody left us alone. The women were very gracious for having us there. One of the fortunate things was a woman, a Dominican, who was a legitimate massage therapist, joined our group. She spoke Spanish, obviously, and she was so grateful. I think we answered her prayer. She said, I'm so happy to see you ladies doing this. These women have a need down here for this, and I'm just so grateful you're here doing this. So Mike Williams actually got her business card, and hopefully something will come of that. So that's what we did. We, as a group of women, we just put our hands on these other women and tried to bless them. And they were actually a blessing to me. I mean, I did things so outside my box, and God just blessed me for that. I just feel it. And like Lola, He won't keep me out from going next year at all.
So we welcome questions and answers. I mean, questions, and we'll give you the answers.
Yes, well, there's a couple of things that you shared with me when we did the nativity that you haven't brought up.
Okay.
You had an interpreter the entire time.
Yes, we did.
And then the people where you stayed. How
Rio Vista.
Yeah, how they came about to do that.
So the people from Rio Vista, our host, they came from Canada, and they sold everything, and their mission is to service the missionaries.
They built this Rio Vista, this guest house. Sorry, usually don't need this. They built Rio Vista, a guest house. And he had a vision, and kind of freaked him out, and she didn't know what was happening. Anyway, they did. They were from Canada. They sold absolutely everything and moved to the Dominican Republic. I do believe they had visited the Dominican before that. They built this guest house, probably has 12 to 15 rooms. They live on the top floor. They have an outside pavilion area where you sit and eat, and there's a commercial kitchen also under the pavilion, which is all enclosed. And this is what they do. They bring in missionaries, not just Mike's group with Cups Mission, but other missionaries as well, and this is their mission field. And the two people we also talked about, Sylvia and Santiago, were friends that had literally just sold everything and moved to Santiago, to the Dominican as well, 3 weeks before we got there. So, yes ma'am, thank you. Yes, Mr. Jerry?
Tell us about your lodging and food.
It was awesome, sorry.
Wait a minute. The food was awesome.
Yes.
The lodging, not so good.
Yeah, the lodging was nothing. It was sparse. It was a bed. It was shelves to put your suitcase in.
Indoor bathroom and hot shower.
Yes, we had an indoor bathroom and hot shower. But
My hot water kept going off.
yeah, there was a trick to the hot water. You had to like do something at the sink to get it going, and and then you have hot water. So, but
We shared a room.
we shared a room, yeah, and me and Martha shared a room, and Lola and Kathy shared a room, and it's very basic on the inside. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to sleep and take a shower there. So,
There's a mattress maybe this big, and the pillow is probably even smaller than it was flat as a pancake, if you will. And you only got one little one, and it wasn't even a full-size pillow. I don't think so. The bedrooms were not great, but everything else was fantastic.
But what I was expecting when I went down there was nothing like what I received. Nothing. I thought, and actually, I didn't know what to expect, really. I thought when I got down there, maybe I was going to be under a tree. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I didn't know where I was going to be staying. I thought it was just going to be bare, wherever we were. And but with the accommodations that we had through the Rio Vista, the rooms were very small. They're nothing really elaborate, but it was a place to stay. They fed us very well, 3 times a day. And Miss Martha said she gained 5 pounds.
At least.
And but
We got dessert too.
yeah, and they always had dessert. I mean, that part was like royalty. Yeah.
that was totally unexpected.
Answer that one?
Yeah. Any other questions? Becca?
I was wondering, do the women try to sell their children? I know different parts of Africa they do. I was wondering if they try to do that.
Yeah. You want to speak with that?
Your answer to that is yes. The prostitution, Mike told us that the girls can be urged to get into that trade and on the streets at age 11. 11 years old. And that's how come Mike is so determined to talk to so many prostitutes that he can, because he said, we just need to teach them another trade and something else that they can do besides the one that they're in. And, but, the whole thing is, if Mike said, if the girls want out of prostitution, they certainly know how to ask or signal. All they got to do is just signal Mike or anybody on his team, and they'll take it from there. But the girls also know that they're bringing in money, they're feeding their family, and at a very, very early age.
So, one of our missions with the prostitutes was to love on them.
Yes.
Because once they were into prostitutions, even though they were forced into it, the society shunned them after that. So we just loved on them and held them and said prayers with them and let them know that, God loves them. Jesus loves them. We let them know that. Yeah. And that was a blessing too. Any other questions? Okay.
Were there any church services or anything you guys participated in?
We went to several churches and seeing what they look like. We didn't have a chance to go to a church service because Mike left like a day before us, and then we were leaving that Sunday, and we had to, be at the airport at a certain time. And so everything is, it's very well organized. It's very organized. So you're not like worn out. I thank God for the weather because it gets very hot there. very hot. So, I mean, when we arrived, what was it? I mean, we were sweating a little bit, but I can't imagine, in the summertime. Yeah. So, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, Jerry?
Were you inland or coastal?
I think we weren't too far from the coast. I mean, we went, yeah. Yeah, we did see the ocean. Mike took us on a tour of also one of the resorts area. So I think we were like 25 minutes from the coast.
But we did, all the villages we worked in were in the mountains.
Yeah, they were all in the mountains. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you know any of those children that were actually orphans, that there were no parents coming back?
We don't know that. Not that I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there is an orphanage there, but I don't know, Anything else?
We are going back. We would love to take a team of 10 people, 10 to 12 people. If anybody's interested, talk to Sue.
No, I don't.
Anyway, it's been an incredible experience. It was, again, way outside my box, and I would never give up that experience. Taddy?
Toddy? Aw,
Well, thank you.
thank you so much. So, we just want to give this to the pastor. Yeah.
He can look,
It says,
look like
Hills-
us.
yeah.
It won't fit him.
No. No, wait a minute, it won't fit me.
Oh, we wanted it so you can put it in your office,
Beautiful, I love it. It's the first mission trip, 21 Hills Church. So, did they hear
Martha? Okay. When are we planning on going again? So they have a lot of summer trips, like June, July. I asked when they have their next trip, like in the cooler weather, which would be, I think it's over Thanksgiving again. And also she gave me December 27th to January 1st. But it's not set in stone. I have to look out to see when they have the exact dates. Julie?
I just want to say thank you so much. You women and the experience that you went through, what you've done, and the fact that you were willing to go out there and serve our Lord in that capacity. Bless your hearts, every last one of you. It just shows the love. You brought the love of this church out there, and that's amazing.
Thank you. And so our goal is to get a team of 10, at least. So talk to your friends, let them know that, Hills is going to do this again. And we have 4. I'm talking to people that I know. I know a nurse I talked to. It works. She's interested. I also spoke with a doctor that might come. So, we really want to get it going. We definitely need to do this again. This mission is, like Martha said, very legit. Very legit. I mean, it's a great mission, and there's a lot of needs there.
I just, of course, most of you know I'm from Missouri, and my church back home gave a very generous donation. The name of that church is Eastgate Christian Church, and I just want to thank them for their donation. And I wanted them to see where in these photos where their money was what their money was donated for, so everybody could see what we did and how we were so blessed there. But I think I just want to take a minute to say something. What really got me, other than the prostitution, was the days we went to the dump. I helped feed those people And like they said, we fixed about 5.5 very large loaves of bread with peanut butter, and which ended up not being enough, by the way. But these people, never had I ever experienced people go into a dirty, smelly, fly-infested dump to look for a chicken leg or a chicken thigh or a piece of steak or anything. And Mike said these people this is their everyday life. They go there, they know when the trucks are coming in from the motels, and they're just waiting to see if they can dig through and get some food that's mixed with all kinds of everything.
And we also seen a couple children there too, which really breaks your heart.
Yes.
Well, we just want to say thank you so much for coming out, and thanks.
Amen. Let's give it up for our mission team that went down there. Thank you all so much.